we are going to talk about something really cool today, which is running your business like a business. So let's get into it. Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. I am coming to you from my office in Richmond, Virginia. So, quick weather update, you guys. So sad. Fall is over. It is the last week of October that I'm filming this. And, the leaves have already changed. They're falling. It's going to be daylight saving soon, ending. And it's just kind of feels sad. I just don't like winter. But on the brighter side, we are going to talk about something really cool today, which is running your business like a business. So let's get into it. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. So just to frame this whole video, this was a 2-hour class that I did yesterday. So not by any shape of the imagination am I going to be able to give you guys a 5 to 10 minute version of this class. But I do want to talk about some of the things that I think were pretty big ahas for people as we were going through this concept of operating your business like a business and kind of thinking a little bit differently through whether you are an employee of the company or whether you are the owner of the company or whether you are the only employee of the company. There's a lot of different options, right? So we're going to kind of break it down and we are going to talk about what that looks like. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, do you own a job or a business? Okay, so I have this really cool chart that helps us kind of understand which side of the equation are we actually on. So owning a job is you trade time for money. Owning a business, you build systems that make you money. Owning a job, you work in it. Owning a business, you work on it. Owning a job, income stops when you do. Owning a business, income continues without you. Owning a job, no leverage, you do it all. Owning a business, you have help, systems, or automation. Reactive, you're chasing what's next if you own a job. Owning a business is predictable and you are planning what's next. So let's talk a little bit more nitty gritty about this concept. A lot of individual agents believe that they cannot be business owners because they don't want to hire people, and they think that the linchpin between owning a job and owning a business is if you have employees. And I really want you to step back a minute and think through that, because one of the first things you should do when you become a real estate agent is you should actually open an LLC, and this is for protection purposes, okay? Like if somebody sues you, they can't come after you for stuff because it's all protected by this LLC. The most they could come after you for would be what's in the LLC. Of course, consult your attorneys, consult your CPAs, your accountants. I am not any of those things, but I have heard a lot of stories and I have learned a lot through a lot of these stories. And just coaching my clients and being a team leader for 9 years, I saw a lot of, insurance claims coming through. And so a lot of individual agents think they can't own a job, right? They can't own a business because they don't have employees. But really what the difference between owning a job and owning a business is systems, okay? And the ability to systematize those systems and automate those systems, okay? So for example, if you're on vacation, wouldn't it be so nice if you had a set of emails, a set of automatic text messages that went out to people that you met at open houses, that maybe people you did networking with, maybe people that are just in your database, so that when you come home, you already have appointments on your calendar. Wow. That is called automation, right? That is a system. So you don't necessarily need people to create a business, but you do need automation. You need systems for that. So one of the biggest coaching things I can tell you right now that you can kind of run with is you need to do a brain dump of all your current processes. So when the phone rings and it's a buyer, what do you do? When you meet somebody at an open house, what do you do with that contact? When the phone rings and it's a seller, what do you do? Once we have a list of those processes, believe it or not, we can start systematizing it and we can start automating it, okay? All right. Now, setting up your LLC, setting up your business like a business. This was 15 minutes worth of content. Not going to be able to give it to you and all that. But the biggest things are form an LLC. This is professional and protective. 2, open a business bank account and savings account. Bonus points, get a business credit card to track your expenses. And then choose a bookkeeping system. If you're not gonna hire this out, maybe consider using something like QuickBooks, okay? Now, this was a scenario between the tax burden of an individual agent without an LLC versus an individual agent that's set up as an S-Corp. I'm not gonna go through this mainly because I don't wanna take on the liability of being your CPA because I'm not a CPA. So please consult your CPA when it comes to that. As far as money is concerned, there is a path of money. And I love this graph. This is from a Keller Williams class. I believe it's Agent Financials. And it explains the idea of human capital, you work for money, and then capital assets, your money works for you. Now, all that money comes in as cash flow. And then cash flow, we have 4 options. We can spend it, we can donate it, we can hold it, we can invest it. I'm big on the investing part of things. Some people like hoarding money. I don't suggest it, especially if it's not in a high yield savings account. I do believe that you should have 6 months worth of expenses in both your business checking account and your personal account. And that's from experience of going through life in my past businesses and not having that. And I believe that if I had had that, I may have been able to weather some tougher storms, especially like in 2008 and 2009 when the market crashed. And then you have 2 options, right, for investing. You can lend it or you can own it. And the 2 basic positions of investing are there's a passive and they're active. So passive investments are money markets, CDs, bonds, T-bills. Owning it is stocks, mutual funds. Active is owner financing, private lending, business, real estate. It all gives you a financial return, which is in essence a capital asset that then goes back into the cash flow machine. So wanted you to kind of think through that. I know a lot of us got our real estate license and we didn't exactly like go to school to be a finance major, right? So this could be helpful to some of you. Okay, so what about knowing your numbers? So this is a very basic example, and this is probably where I'm going to stop the slides because the rest of it has a lot of proprietary information in it that, to be honest with you, I would give you access to if you were one of my coaching clients. This is a very basic concept, which is know your numbers, right? Identify personal and business expenses. That's a very simple process. I have a really cool spreadsheet for that. Combine it to find your freedom number. For example, let's say that your personal expenses were $5,000 and your business expenses were $3,000. So your total is $8,000. That is $96,000 a year. At 10 closings, at an average commission of $9,600, you would hit your goal. Now, one of the things that I help my coaching clients do is I actually help them figure out what the math is for all these numbers, down to how many appointments it is going to take to hit those numbers. And I think that that is a very different way of holding your business accountable for your activities. A lot of times I'll get together with my coaching clients and I'll say, so did you win the month? And they'll say, I don't know. And it's a very easy way to know if we won the month because we know how many appointments we have to go on based on our conversion ratio to agreement signed based on another conversion ratio to closings to GCI, which is gross commission income. Okay, I just threw so much at you in such a short period of time. I know this. And I want to apologize, but at the same time, there's just a lot to learn and there's a lot to know. So I really want you to maybe watch this video a couple times, pause it on some of the slides that I had the scenarios, and you can kind of flush that out and see if those make sense to you. And the thing that I would encourage all of you guys to do, if you haven't already done so, is actually go to booktimewithmaria.com and go ahead and book yourself a deep dive. And let's get into your business and let's figure out exactly what's going on. So if you don't own your business and tell it what to do, it will own you and tell you what to do. And I don't know about you guys, but I did not become a business owner so that I could be told what to do, right? All right, guys, make sure you like and subscribe to this video. I look forward to getting together with you if it is something that you feel called to do. Again, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Go out there, meet some people, and ultimately go sell a house. Bye, everybody.